If you went back in time to meet the Aztecs, you'd definitely be surprised by what you find on the menu. There'd be maize, beans, squash, and the canine ancestor of today's Chihuahua? That's right, these tiny dogs were once more than just companions. They were sometimes part of the meal. But don't let that one fact define the Chihuahua's entire history. There's so much more to this breed than just its role in ancient rituals. Going from ancient sacred symbols to Hollywood stars, these tiny dogs have a larger-than-life story. So buckle up as we unravel the disturbing truth behind the ancient past of the Chihuahua. Roots in ancient civilizations. Let's travel back over 1,000 years to the time of the Toltecs, an advanced civilization that thrived in central Mexico. Known for their expertise in both warfare and construction, the Toltecs dominated between the 10th and 12th centuries. But beyond their impressive cities and conquests, religion was at the heart of their society. To the Toltecs, death wasn't the end of life, but rather a transition into the afterlife. This is where the Techichi comes in. This small, mute dog wasn't just a pet. It held a rather special place in Toltec culture. In fact, the Techichi was so valued that at one point it was even used in trade, almost like currency. Some evidence even suggests that Aztec nobles kept packs of hundreds of these dogs. But these nobles didn't just keep them for companionship. You see, the Toltecs believed that the journey to the afterlife was a rather perilous one, and that the Techichi had the power to help souls safely navigate this journey. Unfortunately, this also meant that these dogs were often sacrificed in ceremonies, buried or cremated alongside their human owners to guide them through the afterlife. And if you haven't guessed it already, the Techichi is widely believed to be the ancestor of the modern Chihuahua. Aztec Era. As the Toltec civilization began to decline in the 12th century, torn apart by internal strife and external pressures, a new power began to rise in the region: the Aztecs. And by the 14th century, the Aztecs had established themselves as the dominant force in central Mexico, building their famous capital city, Tenochtitlan, on an island in what is now Mexico City. In many ways, the Aztecs modeled their society after the Toltecs, borrowing aspects of their culture, architecture, and religious practices. Among the most significant of these cultural adoptions was the reverence for small dogs like the Techichi. The Aztecs believed that these sacred dogs were closely linked to Xolotl, the god of death in the underworld. Xolotl was responsible for guiding the souls of the dead safely through the perilous journey to the afterlife and was often depicted with canine features. This association with Xolotl elevated the Techichi to a sacred status, making them an integral part of religious ceremonies. But the practice of burying and cremating dogs for a secure passage to the underworld prevailed. Interestingly, another breed that shares an Aztec origin with the Techichi is the Xoloitzcuintli. The Xolo, also known as the Mexican hairless dog, is actually said to have been created by the Aztec god Xolo. By extension, the dogs were believed to have the same spiritual powers as the Techichi. However, the Techichi wasn't only revered for spiritual reasons. These small dogs also had practical uses in everyday life. Their sturdy little bodies retained heat exceptionally well, so they were often kept indoors, where they slept beside their owners to provide warmth during cold nights. In fact, the Techichi's warmth was believed to have healing properties, and some even thought they could alleviate conditions like arthritis. Surviving the Spanish Conquest. The arrival of the Spanish conquistadors in Mexico during the 16th century brought about dramatic changes. Initially, the Aztecs were welcoming, even believing that the Spaniards might be incarnations of their gods. But as the Spaniards revealed their true intentions, tensions quickly escalated. By 1521, after years of brutal battles, political manipulation, and the devastating impact of European diseases on the indigenous population, the Aztec Empire fell. The collapse of the Aztecs didn't just affect their people, it had a profound impact on all aspects of life in the region, including the fate of the Techichi. With the introduction of Spanish customs, animals, and cultural practices, many indigenous traditions, including the ritualistic use of the Techichi, were abandoned. Once revered as sacred guides to the afterlife, these small dogs lost their significance in the new Spanish society. Many were either killed, abandoned, or simply forgotten, and the breed nearly vanished. Yet all was not lost. In the most remote villages far from the reach of Spanish influence, small groups of Techichis managed to survive. In these isolated areas, this ancient lineage was preserved, and over time it evolved into the Chihuahua we know today. Rediscovery in Mexico. Fast forward to the mid-19th century. Small dogs resembling the ancient Techichi were rediscovered in the Mexican state of Chihuahua, a remote region where these dogs had survived largely unnoticed since the fall of the Aztec Empire. American tourists visiting Mexico were fascinated by these tiny, bold dogs, and their unusual combination of size and confidence quickly won hearts. Local Mexican merchants, noticing the rising demand, began trading and selling these dogs to tourists, helping spread the breed beyond Mexico's borders. Once they reached the US, Chihuahuas became popular among the wealthy, fitting into the growing trend of toy breeds as status symbols for high society. Their small size made them perfect companions for the upper class, and their spirited personalities only added to their charm. The breed's association with the Mexican region of Chihuahua earned them their name, and by the late 1800s they were a favorite among American pet owners. This newfound popularity led to their official recognition by the American Kennel Club in 1904, cementing their place as one of the most beloved toy breeds in the world. The first AKC-registered Chihuahua was a dog named Midget from Texas, and just a few years later, a Chihuahua named Beppy became the breed's first AKC champion. Rise to fame. Throughout the 20th century, the Chihuahua evolved from a regional breed into an international pop culture phenomenon. Sure, their small size, bold personality, and unique look already made them stand out, but it wasn't until the latter half of the century that they truly skyrocketed to fame. One of the defining moments came in the late 1990s, when a Chihuahua named Gidget became the face of Taco Bell in a series of wildly popular commercials. With the memorable catchphrase, "Yo quiero Taco Bell," or "I want Taco Bell," Gidget quickly became a cultural icon, associating Chihuahuas with the fast food brand. The campaign was such a hit that Taco Bell produced talking toy versions of the dog, and Gidget's fame even sparked a wave of memes. As the 2000s arrived, Chihuahuas got an even bigger boost from celebrity culture, thanks to Paris Hilton and her beloved Chihuahua, Tinkerbell. Tinkerbell became Hilton's signature accessory, appearing with her on red carpets and at glamorous events, fueling a surge in Chihuahua ownership among the elite and beyond. Around the same time, movies like Beverly Hills Chihuahua and Legally Blonde cemented the breed's Hollywood status, portraying them as the ultimate pampered pets. Chihuahuas Today. Today, the Chihuahua is one of the most loved yet misunderstood dog breeds. While many picture them as delicate, purse-sized pets, Chihuahuas are anything but fragile. They're bold, fiercely loyal, and surprisingly intelligent. Their long and fascinating history spans from being spiritual guides in ancient rituals to becoming pop culture icons on red carpets. However, what might surprise you is that Chihuahuas are actually the second most euthanized breed in the US, right after pit bulls. This unfortunate reality is largely due to overbreeding, overcrowded shelters, and a reputation for being difficult to manage. Their small size and strong-willed nature can be overwhelming for some owners, leading to many being surrendered to shelters. Sadly, this overpopulation means that many Chihuahuas are euthanized to make room for other animals. In light of this, adopting a Chihuahua from a shelter can make a huge difference. Not only are you saving a life, but you're also helping to break the cycle of overpopulation. Despite their tough reputation, many Chihuahuas in shelters are loving, adoptable dogs just waiting for a chance at a forever home. So the next time you see a Chihuahua, remember that this little dog is packed with centuries of history. From sacred rituals to Hollywood fame, the Chihuahua's journey is nothing short of legendary. Who knew that such a small dog could have such a big story? Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed learning about the history of Chihuahuas, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more deep dives into the fascinating world of dog breeds. Let me know in the comments if you've ever owned a Chihuahua or if you're thinking about adopting one. And as always, make sure to click the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. See you next time.